This is one of those deals where we talk to players that we've never talked to before, and they say things that we never thought we'd hear before because they're trying to, make a name for themselves. But Cowboy safety came out and said that, am I skipping this? Am I doing this?
Yeah, you skipped over Carroll.
Oh,
Go to Carroll.
So much for that.
Pete Carroll's
That's how you feel about it? Oh, look, Pete Carroll's an old man, so he retired. He's no longer the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. I guess it caught some people by surprise. He stays on as a consultant of some kind. The word is that it was not his choice, but after a meeting with the ownership there and the front office, it was agreed upon that he still brings value, as of course the guy's been around as long as he has. But Pete Carroll was a surprise coaching a move that happened yesterday.
Yeah, for me, he reminds me of that old jukebox in the corner, right? It was great in his time, but now that we're in 2024, we're like,
Did you just call Pete Carroll a jukebox?
Yeah, that old jukebox.
Wow.
He's a little outdated, bro. Like, it is what it is. He had a hell of a time in Seattle. He brought them their only championship.
Yeah.
But it's time to move on. He's expired.
Look, he's a great coach, not a good one. Obviously, he had some issues at USC, well documented. But the man knows how to coach, knows how to lead men. And a guy in his young 70s, the fact he lasted this long is not the norm, and speaks to how great he is as a coach.
Yeah, and it's about relatability, too, at some point. But Pete Carroll was one of those older guys that you feel like if you're in that locker room, he was relatable. Even at his later stages in life, like his age, he was still a relatable coach. You saw how vibrant he was, but I think you got to get a young guy in there. The league is getting younger from a player standpoint. Even from a coaching standpoint, everything is turning young.
Look, my favorite memory of Pete Carroll, what you guys are talking about being like a player's guy, a guy that can relate, is when they signed DK Metcalf 5 years ago. And DK, of course, has, like Greg, the chiseled physique. And they went in to meet him, and he had his shirt off. And that's all I needed to see. And he was in his late 60s when he did that. And it was very, very relatable. So, a great career by Pete Carroll. He does have a Super Bowl ring, and he'll probably always regret the fact that he didn't hand the ball off to Marshawn. But that's another story for another day. We have breaking news for you. It is being reported by multiple sources that the Wicked Witch is dead.
Finally!
Woohoo! After a quarter of a century wreaking havoc on my New York Jets and the NFL across the land, Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots are expected to part ways.
Wow!
Yes!
Wow!
It is finally over. It's finally over.
Hey!
Yeah! All right! Yes! Obviously the greatest head coach of all time in the history of the NFL. Merely 12 hours after the greatest college coach of all time, Nick Saban, announces he's stepping down at Alabama. And, of course, Pete Carroll's out in Seattle. Bill Belichick is no longer in the AFC East. And you know what happened? And think about this as we celebrate the demise of the New England Patriots franchise. It was the New York Jets that sent him into retirement. See ya. Wouldn't want to be here. Oh, what glorious news this is.
I love it. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought when there was talk about him joining hands or becoming, a team, build a team with a new GM and him not being a guy, I knew it wasn't going to happen. I know Bill was going to be like, I'm out of here. I'm not listening to nobody. I brought 6 Super Bowls home to New England.
But it's the New York Jets that ended your Patriot career. And that's all that matters to me. Hey, get me Robert Saleh on the hotline right away. I want to congratulate him for a terrible year, but a year that ended with the demise of that guy. Peace out. Bill Belichick. Now, doesn't mean Bill Belichick's not going to coach.
Oh, he's a charge.
Next year somewhere else, but he is no longer going to coach the New England Patriots 24 years later. It's a wrap.
Yeah, and it's a direction that the Patriots obviously want to go. They want to go probably younger, and they understand that they're probably going to try to get a quarterback in this draft. And so what his relationship with Mac Jones, I really believe that had a lot to do with it. Not just the inability to connect with him, but just how he mishandled it. As far as a relationship building, communicating, and we saw Mac Jones literally every week just feel like he was starting to doubt himself and his ability to even play at this level. So I think that has a lot to do with it when you move forward to
under 500 without Tom Brady, hasn't made the playoffs in God knows how long, a bad talent evaluator, couldn't find a quarterback, obviously, whether it's Bailey Zappi or the high draft pick in Mac Jones. I will say this, as much as he has pained me throughout my entire adult life as a New York Jet fan, I acknowledge greatness. And Bill Belichick is the greatest head coach in the history of the NFL. But what sweet sound it is that Bill Belichick is no longer in my life or standing in the way of the New York Jets winning games, winning divisions. It's going to be a long road back for the Patriots. And that guy, the Wicked Witch of the West, the guy that caused me such great pain, the guy that retired and resigned as the head coach of the New York Jets on a freaking napkin 20 years ago, is now out of my life. Good riddance. Good riddance. Good riddance. I want to say bad words. I'm dying to say bad words.
Don't do it. Don't
Today is such a great celebration. Jacoby, I forgive you for not buying me Dunkin' Donuts this morning.
Oh,
Greg, I forgive you for making me stare at your nipples this morning. And Willie, I forgive you for that silent but deadly you dropped 6 minutes ago. I am having a great day. It is a celebration.
He will be the head coach of the Chargers. It's 4:15 in Los Angeles right now, and they're already on the phone. It is 4:15 in Los Angeles. The Chargers are already on the phone.
I'm not sure that the Chargers is the best job. I thought for a moment for sure it was because you have a rock star quarterback in Justin Herbert. But if I'm Bill Belichick, the snake in the grass that he is, he's just going to wait. He's going to wait for maybe the Dallas Cowboys to lose to the Green Bay Packers and Jerry Jones to overreact. Maybe he's going to wait for fill in the blank to have a bad
Chicago.
The point is this. When you have Michael Jordan available to you, you wait for Michael Jordan.
Everybody's going to wait for him.
And that he's the only guy. Look, there's some great coaching candidates, obviously, that are out there, and some good coaching candidates that are out there. But the point is this. I now have the luxury, if I'm Bill Belichick, I'm going to enjoy myself for a couple weeks, and I'm going to wait. I guarantee you the phone's already rang. There's no doubt about it. The phone is already ringing, whether it's the Chargers, whether it's whomever. You pick your favorite team, the Saints, the Falcons, whatever it might be,
Panthers,
Tennessee. The reality is that's Michael Jordan right there. And if the Eagles lose in the first round to Tampa, Sirianni's out, Belichick's in. If the Cowboys lose in the first round to the Green Bay Packers, McCarthy's out, he's in. This guy and no one else gets to pick the job he wants.
Yeah, rightfully so, right? Because he's one of the greatest to ever do it. But my question is, who's willing to deal with Bill Belichick and everything he brings to the table? Because right now, he's perceived as having a Jekyll and Hyde sort of, complex, if you will. In the building, he's great. You love him. Outside, very stoic.
Remember what he represents, though, right? He represents championships.
No doubt about it.
Right. So if you're a team, and I'm going to use the Cowboys because
Tom Brady.
But the point is, if you're a team, there are teams out there. Chargers with Herbert. I apologize to Mike McCarthy for this, and I'm going to even apologize to Nick Sirianni for this.
What?
There are really good teams out there that have franchise quarterbacks that might need an upgraded coach. I'm not talking about going to Carolina and trying to figure out if Bryce Young is a player or not, and deal with a lunatic owner with very little talent, in the cupboard, right? This guy, if he wants to coach, my gut is that he does, is going to go to a situation where it's kind of like when Tom Brady went to Tampa. Tom Brady didn't go to Carolina. Tom Brady didn't go to a team that wasn't built.
Because it was ready, set. It was ready to go.
He's going to have his pick of franchises that are ready to win championships.
And it will, and as close to a guarantee as you can get, it's that guy right there.
No doubt about it.
Like, if you are a team that feels like we are just a piece away, whatever that piece is, you feel like he will fill that void.
And by the way, as much as I dislike him, I do feel that way. Like if the New York,
feel like he's a piece of...
I'll give you an example. Obviously, I'm friends with Robert Saleh. I respect him, like him a lot. I know this will never happen because he hates the franchise. If I'm the New York Jets, I'm on the phone right now.
Really?
Will Bill Belichick consider coaching?
Even with the history.
Dude, I dislike this man.
They have footage of this man not even willing to walk into the locker room with Bill Carr says. He hated the Jets.
Hates the Jets.
Continues to hate the Jets.
And I don't even quite understand the history of that. And I've been a Jet fan for a long time. And this is not, hyperbole. This was my best friend when we both lived in Cleveland, Ohio. Well documented. I don't want to get into it again. And as much as I dislike him for a lot of the stuff he's done away from the field over the last quarter century, on a personal level, go get him. I know I can't, but the point is Michael Jordan's now available.
Question.
Yes.
I'm going to be the guy to say the quiet thing out loud. Are we sure Bill Belichick still has his fastball?
Yes, 100%.
He was the GM and he was the head coach of a team that decided that Cam Newton should come back for that second year. That Mac Jones is the guy for the future of the franchise. Like, this team has been bad. Without Tom Brady, he has been bad. Are we still sure that he is this Michael Jordan, as you say it? Like, is there some hesitation if I'm a franchise that has a coaching ability?
So let me give you an example. It's a fair question.
Would you not want a younger guy that has his eye on the future?
I don't. And I don't like hiring older people as a principle, as a rule, but he's different. He's a one of one. And I give it to you this way. I'm not looking for Bob Myers, right? NBA term, right?
Correct.
A guy that can build a franchise. I'm looking for Pat Riley, the coach. I'm looking for who's the greatest coach out there. I don't need him to be a talent evaluator from a GM standpoint.
He's a bad GM.
I wouldn't hire him to be my general manager.
Drafted poorly.
I give him a voice in the room because I respect his history in the NFL. I'm hiring Bill Belichick, the coach. And I'm telling you, I know you don't want to hear it because it means that your team had a disappointing result in the playoffs. Chargers are an obvious one because you have Herbert, right? If the Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia Eagles lose this weekend, that's where Bill Belichick goes.
What about next weekend?
A little different. A little different.
So I think,
little different.
I think all that matters, right? I'm with Craig. I'm not hiring him for his GM status and track record and all the things. But what we do know worked was we heard Danny Amendola say it earlier this week. Like, we worked for Bill Belichick. We played for Tom Brady. So that means if I hear that, I'm understanding that as, or reading between the lines, he's going to go to a spot where the quarterback situation, it is set. There's a leader there. There's an alpha there. And again, I love Mike McCarthy, but you're right. If you listen to what Jerry's been saying this week.
It's about winning.
It's a chance.
So I'm apologizing for saying
I'm totally
but I got to keep it a buck, right? And keeping it 100 is if there's an early exit, if the Cowboys lost in the first round, and I say it about Philly too, if Philly loses in the first round and the guy's available, these guys don't come along that often. He's a one of one. I'm on the phone today making that offer.
Yeah, I just struggle because the scenario you're painting is that he has to step into a situation that's already set for him, right? When he's supposed to be this great head coaches develop. Great head coaches make a way and build a culture within an organization. What we've seen out of Bill Belichick, he brought in Bill O'Brien. He's supposed to be the quarterback with screw. He was supposed to unlock Mac Jones. That was a failure. Every coach that's ever left his tree has failed. So who are we honestly getting right now? Because I understand he won with Tom Brady, and he's done amazing things. He's probably one of the greatest head coaches in his time. Yeah. But it's kind of like what we just said about Pete Carroll. They were great back then, but who they are now, they are not great.
Thank you, Willie.
Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.